Humans, animals, and all living organisms operate according to a schedule that balances sleep cycle and metabolism. This cycle is known as circadian rhythms, or the 24-hour cycle in the physiological processes of living beings. Circadian rhythms are often referred to as the internal body clock because they regulate the sleep and wake cycles. When the circadian rhythm fluctuates, or when someone is unable to follow a set schedule for sleeping and waking, it may be due to circadian rhythm sleep-wake disorder. Convention says to go to sleep at this new time while our brains are saying something different. If the struggle continues for any length of time, you may have what is called a circadian rhythm sleep disorder. The diagnostic criteria for this disorder are the following: a persistent or recurrent pattern of sleep disruption that is primarily due to an alteration of the circadian system or to a misalignment between the endogenous circadian rhythm and the sleep-wake schedule required by an individual's physical environment or social or professional schedule. The sleep disruption leads to excessive sleepiness or insomnia or both. The sleep disturbance causes clinically significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, and other important areas of functioning. There are some types of circadian rhythm sleep-wake disorders. First on the list is jet lag type. As its name implies, caused by rapidly crossing multiple time zones, it is a temporary sleep problem that can affect anyone who quickly travels across several time zones. When you travel across more than 2 time zones by plane, your body's internal clock needs time to adjust to the new sleep and wake cycles at your destination. Second, we have delayed sleep phase type. If you have DSP, you can fall asleep at a socially acceptable bedtime. Instead, your sleep is delayed by at least 2 hours. This happens even when you're tired. DSP is common and approximately 15% of adolescents and adults have DSP. The condition isn't the same as being a night owl. If you're a night owl, you choose to stay up late. But if you have DSP, you're up late because your body clock is delayed. Delayed sleep phase type is highest in adolescents and young adults. A family history of delayed sleep phase is often present in individuals with delayed sleep phase type. Some individuals with delayed sleep phase type may be hypersensitive to evening light, which can serve as a delay signal to the circadian clock, or they may be hyposensitive to morning light such that its phase advancing effects are reduced. The functional consequences of delayed sleep phase type are excessive early day sleepiness and extreme and prolonged difficulty awakening with morning confusion is also common. However, the severity of insomnia and excessive sleepiness symptoms vary substantially among individuals and largely depends on the occupational and social demands on the individual. Third on the list is advanced sleep phase type. Advanced sleep phase type describes a condition where a person has a sleep schedule that consistently runs earlier than desired. A person with ASPD may still be able to get enough sleep overall, but their sleep schedule is shifted earlier than the average person. This circadian rhythm disorder is early to bed and early to rise. Here, sleep is advanced or earlier than normal bedtime. Sleep-wake times and circadian phase advance in older individuals probably account for the higher prevalence in this population. Fourth, we have irregular sleep-wake type. People who have irregular sleep-wake types experience highly varied sleep cycles. Irregular sleep-wake syndrome is sleeping without any real schedule. Symptoms of sleep-wake syndrome include irregular periods of sleep and wakefulness which disrupt the normal daily sleep-wake cycle. Irregular sleep-wake type is most commonly associated with neurodegenerative disorders, such as major neurocognitive disorder and many neurodevelopmental disorders in children. Age at onset is variable, but the disorder is more common in older adults. Next, non-24-hour sleep-wake type. N24 sleep disorder, in which an individual's biological clock fails to synchronize to a 24-hour day. Instead of sleeping at roughly the same time every day, someone with N24 will typically find their sleep time gradually delaying by minutes to hours every day. Starting with the asymptomatic period, when the individual's sleep phase is aligned to the external environment, sleep latency will gradually increase and the individual will complain of sleep-onset insomnia. As the sleep phase continues to drift, so that sleep time is now in the daytime, the individual will have trouble staying awake during the day and will complain of sleepiness. Because the circadian period is not aligned to the external 24-hour environment, symptoms will depend on when an individual tries to sleep in relation to the circadian rhythm of sleep propensity. N24 sleep-wake type is most common among blind or visually impaired individuals who have decreased light perception. This disorder appears rare in sighted individuals, but there is often a history of delayed sleep phase and of decreased exposure to light and structured social and physical activity. Sighted individuals with N24 sleep-wake type also demonstrate increased sleep duration. Complaints of insomnia, excessive sleepiness, or both are prominent in this disorder. The unpredictability of sleep and wake times results in difficulty attending school or maintaining a steady job and may increase potential for social isolation. Last, we have shift work type. This is the sleep problem associated with work schedules. Symptoms of excessive sleepiness at work and impaired sleep at home on a persistent basis are prominent. Presence of both sets of symptoms are usually required for a diagnosis of this disorder. Many people, such as hospital employees, police, or emergency personnel, work at night or must work irregular hours. As a result, they may have problems sleeping or experience excessive sleepiness during waking hours. Shift work type can appear in individuals of any age but is more prevalent in individuals older than 50 years and typically worsens with the passage of time if the disruptive work schedules persist. Although older adults may show similar rates of circadian phase adjustment to a change in routine as do younger adults, they appear to experience significantly more sleep disruption as a consequence of the circadian phase shift. Research on why our sleep rhythms are disrupted is advancing at a great pace, and we are beginning to understand the circadian rhythm process. Scientists believe the hormone melatonin contributes to the setting of our biological clocks that tell us when to sleep. This hormone is produced by the pineal gland in the center of the brain. Melatonin has been nicknamed the Dracula hormone because its production is stimulated by darkness and ceases in daylight. When our eyes see that it is nighttime, this information is passed on the pineal gland, which in turn begins producing melatonin. Researchers believe that both light and melatonin help set the biological clock.